The news with Katrina Smith and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Katrina Smith.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we have some air quality alerts going on for today. These Canadian wildfires are not going to let up this summer, are they?
Yeah, a lot of dry weather out west, and you factor in those storms, lightning, a lot of remote fires. That's the recipe for what's going on this summer. And a look at the current conditions out there right now. Again, it's a dry start. But that's the only thing we're really focused on today is that wildfire smoke. It's not going to last too long, though, and I'll get to that here in a minute. But first, 64-degree start to your day at Griffiths and Rome, 53 up in the Adirondacks. There is some lower humidity up north, if you can really call it that, with temperatures on the cooler side up there. So the radar picking up on just some low-level moisture here in parts of the Mohawk Valley, mainly in the form of low-lying clouds, even some fog in some spots, especially south of the thruway. But outside early today, it is a dry start. Now what we're tracking, a dry weather pattern setting in. It's not going to be lasting for several days, but it's going to be lasting for the short term. And air quality is an alert through this afternoon and this evening. We'll get to that coming up in a few minutes. And then hot weather makes its return, especially today, but more so as we head into tomorrow. So these are the counties in the air quality alerts. This impacts parts of Lewis, Herkimer, Hamilton, even Oneida, Otsego, Madison, Chenango counties, all in the gray right there. And I'll get to the reasoning for it and how long this lasts coming up in a few minutes. Katrina?
Thank you so much, Eric. And don't forget, your Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, new this morning, strong storms brought heavy rain, flooding, and damaging winds to much of the Northeast. Take a look at this. A flood watch issued by the National Weather Service for parts of the region, including Philadelphia. Flooding wreaked havoc on roadways there. Cars were stalled out while first responders pushed other cars to higher ground. A traffic alert here at home for drivers in the village of Clinton. It starts today. And there are several road closures to tell you about that are in effect for the next 4 weeks. The State Department of Transportation is working at the intersection of Route 12B or Franklin Ave and College Street. DOT has detour signs set up. That intersection will not reopen until mid-August. One of several Marcy Corrections officers accused of second-degree murder in the death of inmate Robert.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 5:13. As you head out this morning, it's a mainly dry day. I do want to point out one area, very small area that has light rain showers. Take a look here. First off, our traffic tracker showing mainly green across the board. No accidents to report of early this morning. And as we take a look at some conditions across the region, you notice here we got some clear skies up in Boonville, some lingering clouds in Herkimer, but some sunshine as well. And then Bridgewater and New Hartford at this time looking dry as you head outside. So the radar is quiet except some spots right here. Believe it or not, it's a very small shower just passing through Sherburne and just north of Edmiston. These are the only rain showers pretty much in all of New York State. So I guess there's some unluckiness here as well, but don't worry, these are going to fizzle out and we're going to dry out throughout the morning. So again, today, aside from those isolated showers, we dry out this afternoon. Same story. It's going to be dry, humid, and hazy, not just from the humidity, but also from some wildfire smoke. We'll track that, plus when we could see the chance for more rain again coming up in a few minutes. Katrina?
Eric, thank you. Well, we didn't see the rain here. Heavy rains once again on Monday night, bringing flooding to much of the...
This is a weekly test of the Emergency Alert System. This station is testing equipment that can quickly warn you in the event of an emergency. This concludes this test of the Emergency Alert System.
around 10 miles west of Newark. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy announced a state of emergency due to that heavy rain and those stalled storms. Taking you now to Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. Here you see another dangerous situation. Water rushing over the roadway here, and once again, drivers trying to pass through it. The video of water cascading over the roadway here. And in New York City, the rain caused flooding on a subway platform and inside the trains. You can see people standing in water on a subway car and the water gushing near the ticket turnstile at the 23rd Street station. Again, this happening in the Big Apple. Another dangerous situation in the Big Apple, and this one has nothing to do with
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Cool shot right there. You can see fog trying to form in the Mohawk Valley. We're also tracking some fog developing in a lot of spots here across upstate New York. One spot where there's no fog is in Cooperstown. A live view outside right there. It is a quiet morning, which is usually turned into a busy afternoon with all the tourism taking place this summer. So it's very interesting seeing the influx of people heading there every morning after a very quiet start. It's a 66-degree start to the day in Cooperstown. Radar picking up on dry conditions inside the town there, and again, those isolated downpours in the southern valleys. So if you're heading outside to work today, sunglasses, sunscreen, hat, the usual sort when you head out, grab some extra water. It's not going to be very hot, but with that humidity, with that haze and the heat, just make sure you have some extra bottles of water to stay cool and hydrated for those of you who work outside today. Now, when it comes to wildfire smoke, this is what we're tracking here. Here comes that surge of smoke from the northwest. This will be a today problem and not a tomorrow problem. It's a very quick setup here. Once we head into tomorrow, that smoke lifts north and we'll see that south wind kick in. Of course, that's going to usher in all that humidity and heat tomorrow, even warmer than today, which is a heads up that today there are air quality alerts in effect. It's not that high. We'll closely track it, but for those of you who are not sensitive and can spend time outside, on a day like today, again, you got lots of dry weather, temperatures in the 80s. You have anything planned on doing this evening outside, you got dry weather for that. What the truck takes place tonight, it's a very warm What the Truck. So, our Skycast shows morning fog turning to sunshine by this afternoon, some wildfire haze in the atmosphere. Highs today will be in the upper 80s. By tonight, we're down into the 60s. Now, Wednesday starts out dry, a beautiful start, by the way. Then by the afternoon, an isolated downpour turning to a few scattered thunderstorms by the evening. These are not organized, so these are basically hit or miss. Luck of the draw thunderstorms. Same thing for Thursday. Luck of the draw thunderstorms, the temperatures peaking in the low 90s. So once we hit Thursday evening, that cold front begins to move through, and Friday, aside from some early morning showers, turns dry by the afternoon, and this will likely usher in some slight relief to that humidity. So your 7-day forecast, pretty warm stretch today. Wednesday and Thursday, highs pushing the low 90s, then 70s by Friday and Saturday, as we are in the warmest stretch of weather all year long, usually mid to late July.
Yep.
This is usually when we get that high heat.
I feel like end of August State Fair week is comparable sometimes,
True,
right?
yeah. Every time the State Fair hits, boom, it's like 95 out and it's so humid. Yeah.
That's funny. All right, well, we will survive. Thank you so much, Eric. The time now is 5:20. Good morning, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Katrina Smith. Let's start out the half hour with a check on your forecast. And Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage is not only tracking the warmer temperatures, but also air quality alerts.
Yeah, that's right. We have air quality alerts in effect for pretty much all of the Mohawk Valleys. Take a look here at the map, and we can see that it includes the North Country, Mohawk Valley. It doesn't really include full Montgomery counties and toward the capital region. The reason for that is a lot of this smoke is coming from the northwest. It's going to hit a wall and then recede back north and west tonight. So you can see here in the dark gray, that means there's AQIs over 100. What does that mean? That's a fancy number here. Basically means that at least there's particulates in the atmosphere enough to trigger air quality alerts, mainly, again, driven by wildfire smoke. So we start out this morning in the 60s in the Mohawk Valley, cooler in the North Country, 52 degree start to the day up in Saranac Lake. In the southern valleys, heading toward the southern tier, still in the mid-60s. So the radar is quiet right now, aside from an isolated downpour outside of Sherburne. We'll continue to track that. Downtown Utica, cloudy out there. And again, we're going to be following some of that heat today, even higher heat tomorrow. And we'll be breaking down that wildfire smoke and where it heads coming up in a few minutes. Katrina?
Thank you so much, Eric. Well, former Governor Andrew
2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli. This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Tuesday morning. Our photo of the day today showcases a double rainbow. We had a lot of amazing submissions of some rainbows over the past few days. This one, though, taken in Richfield Springs by Wendy's. Shout out to those of you watching from Richfield Springs this morning. And look at that scene of that double rainbow. You get the right sun angle, the right amount of rainfall in the opposite side of the sky, and you can get these vibrant colors here. So again, thank you for the submission, Wendy. If you have a photo like this you'd like to share with us, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Link right there on the top of your screen next to the text that says submit your photo. So today's temperatures are going to be in the upper 80s for the highs. Tomorrow, even warmer. As we head into the end of the week, though, we're going to say goodbye to the upper 80s, low 90s, and we'll see low 80s, upper 70s. So a little bit of a cool down as we track what follows when we head later on this week. How about those conditions, though, when it comes to rainfall? Let's take a look right here. Today, it's completely dry, aside from those isolated downpours early this morning south. Tomorrow, we start out dry, maybe an isolated downpour as we head into Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. Tomorrow's high, by the way, 91 degrees. On Thursday, we have a few scattered thunderstorms we'll be tracking, highs similar to that in the upper 80s. By Friday, in the 70s, still cooling down a little bit as well. And these rainfall chances continue to decrease throughout Friday with a dry day expected by Saturday, and then more storms arrive on Sunday. Katrina?
Thank you, Eric. Well, this morning, firefighters are...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Fog forming over the Mohawk Valley and parts of the southern valleys this morning, the exception being Cooperstown. Live view outside right there. It is a 66 or 67 degree start to your day today in the southern valleys. Other spots still upper 60s. That seems to be the common trend here. Isolated downpour right along the Shenango-Otsego County line here. But that's really the only shower we're tracking at this time. When you head to work today, if you're working outside, one of those days where, yeah, it's not that hot, but just pack some extra waters too. The humidity will be rising, the heat will be rising into the upper 80s. Feels like temperature likely reaching the low 90s. And while we're tracking that, we're also tracking some wildfire smoke. Here's a look at where it's heading. We had throughout the afternoon, it surges south. Now notice we're not in the yellows and oranges, that's the concerning area. We're in the darker blues, which is enough to produce a light, at least hue of haze in the sky, and enough to slightly notice that smoky smell. This is not going to last long though. We head into tomorrow, look at that. The smoke lifts north as that south wind kicks in. So this is not a long-lasting event, just a heads up throughout the day today that air quality alerts are in effect. So on our Skycast, lingering fog turns to sunshine this afternoon. A dry day, highs in the upper 80s. We head into tonight, it quiets down, lows in the 60s. A beautiful start to your day Wednesday. As we head throughout the afternoon, we climb to the upper 80s, low 90s, with a few isolated thunderstorms turning scattered by the evening and overnight. So if you have any plans tomorrow outside, remain weather aware for some of these downpours firing up. Same thing on Thursday. These are not organized. These are just sporadic due to that high humidity. Especially on Thursday, we're back into the upper 80s, potentially low 90s with a few of these thunderstorms. Then Thursday night into Friday, we're going to see a couple of cold fronts roll through. These will usher in some morning showers Friday, drying out throughout the day with sunshine moving in on Saturday with high temperatures in the upper 70s. So a slight cool down from this heat we're seeing for the next few days.
Our family. The news with Katrina Smith and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us. I'm Katrina Smith.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we have a lot on the docket today. We didn't see those rainstorms that hit much of the state,
Thankfully,
downstate,
yeah.
To the south of us, Otsego County. But we did see that heat.
Yes, the heat, a humidity, which hasn't really been going away, despite all that rainfall we saw over the weekend, too. Today, though, we've got some of that heat. We also have air quality alerts. Yeah. So let's take a look at where they are. Now, the counties in gray under air quality alerts. That includes Lewis, Herkimer, Hamilton, Oneida, Madison, Shenango, Otsego counties. What does that mean? It means it's an AQI above 100. Fancy word for saying there are particulates in the atmosphere that some of you that are unusually sensitive might cause some health concerns. Now, this is not extremely high case of air quality concern, but just a heads up today that we'll be tracking some wildfire smoke working its way in. This morning, aside from the air quality, it's going to be a pretty quiet day today. Sunshine locally around the area. There is an exception, though. We have one downpour passing through the border of Shenango into Otsego County. That's the only rain shower we're tracking at this hour. The rest of it is patchy fog mixed in with some sunshine. So a live look at downtown Utica right now. That's what we're tracking. So again, dry weather settles in, air quality alert in effect today, and then the heat really kicks in, especially tomorrow and Thursday. We're tracking how hot it gets next few days, but again, today, high temperatures in the 80s, lots of sunshine. We'll have a look at the wildfire smoke in a lot more detail coming up in a few minutes. Katrina?
Eric, thank you so much. And don't forget that Storm Tracker 2 forecast never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, strong storm, rain, damaging winds, and much more to the northeast. A flood watch was issued by the National Weather Service for parts of the region, including Philadelphia. The flooding wreaking havoc on the roadways there. Cars were stalled out while first responders pushed other cars to higher ground. Here at home, we didn't see any of that. A traffic alert, though, for drivers in the village of Clinton starts today. There are several road closures that are in effect for the next 4 weeks. The State Department of Transportation is working at the intersection of 12B and Franklin Ave and College Street. Now, DOT has set up detour signs. The intersection will not reopen until mid-August. Now to a developing story. One of several Mercy Corrections officers accused of
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 6:13 as you head out to work today. It's going to be a slightly cooler start. Temperatures in the 60s with some patchy fog out there. And we take a look at the traffic tracker. Lots of green out there this morning. And overall, pretty quiet beginning to your day today. Now, there is some fog starting to form in some areas. For one, the valley as you head up north toward Lowville, parts of the Adirondacks, including parts of the southern valleys as well. Herkimer, though, we got some peaks of sunshine there. Dry morning for most of us, with the exception here of that isolated downpour, which is now passing right in between Morris and Edmiston, heading closer to Milford. It likely might fizzle out by the time it reaches there, but again, today, mainly dry start. Patchy fog this afternoon. Temperatures will be peaking in the upper 80s with haze and heat. And we'll track that haze, that wildfire smoke, plus what follows it tomorrow in that full forecast. Katrina?
Eric, thank you so much. And as Eric said, haze and heat today, but yesterday we dodged quite a bit again on Monday night, bringing flooding to much of the tri-state area. Take a look at Edgewater, New Jersey. You can see a bird's eye view of roads turned into waterways in a matter of minutes. Cars and buses trying to make their way through it, which, as we know, is a dangerous activity. Intense afternoon and evening storms bringing flash flooding to the tri-state area. Sudden heavy downpours. Flash flood warnings were issued for multiple counties in and around New York City starting after 3 p.m. Cell phone video capturing people wading out into the floodwaters above their knees in New Providence, New Jersey. Around 10 miles west of Newark is where Providence is. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has announced a state of emergency due to that heavy rain and that stalled storm. Finally, New York City, the rain causing flooding on a subway platform and inside trains. You can see people standing in water on a subway car and water gushing near the ticket turnstile at the 23rd Street station in the Big Apple. Another dangerous situation in the Big Apple. This one has nothing to do with flooding, though. In New York City caught 4 kids taking part in the dangerous activity known as subway surfing. Well, the NYPD's drone team was conducting an anti-subway surfing operation on July 10th when they spotted this group of boys. Their age 12 to 16 years old, riding on top of an express train traveling at a high rate of speed. The train was stopped and held at a nearby station, and then officers took the 4 into custody. Officials say the operation started in November of 2023, and so far they've stopped 200 people from subway surfing. Time now is 6:06.
Omni, we've got your back.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Time now is 6:19, and we start out the day on the dry side for much of our area. Sunshine, however, in downtown Utica, there is some fog trying to form across parts of the Mohawk River there. But as you head farther into the city, you can see that fog really starting to fade away. The temperatures this morning are in the mid to upper 60s with dry conditions out there, patchy fog, and lingering rainfall, an isolated downpour right here beginning to phase its way out. Now, when it comes to weather today, it's not going to be that hot or incredibly humid, but it's still going to be very warm and very humid. Either way, if you work outside today, grab those sunglasses. Of course, grab those extra waters. That's the key here. Stay hydrated outside, especially with all that sunshine and high temperatures. And on top of that, we are tracking wildfire smoke. It's not a lot. It's enough to be noticeable today. A faint haze in the sky, and you can possibly notice a slight smell in the atmosphere today. It is not a very high level, but it's enough to just make sure that those of you who are unusually sensitive to stuff like this in the atmosphere to take extra precautions. It doesn't last too long, though. By tomorrow, that smoke lifts north and we're in the clear. And so on our Skycast today, we've got that patchy fog. It's going to burn off and sunshine moves in. Sunny afternoon with high temperatures in the upper 80s. Now tonight, it's going to be quiet. Sunshine to start your day tomorrow. Beautiful beginning to your Wednesday. And we warm up quickly into the upper 80s to low 90s. And with tomorrow's increase in humidity and that warm front kicking in, there's potential for a few scattered thunderstorms, especially by the evening and overnight. Same thing for Thursday. That high heat and humidity really kick in. We're up in the upper 80s, low 90s again with a mix of disorganized thunderstorms. The key here is it's one of those systems where you'll have sunshine one moment, a thunderstorm the next, and then back to sunshine before you know it again. Similar to what happens in Florida in the summertime with all that high humidity. Then a cold front moves through as we head into Friday, and that'll usher in a slight relief to the humidity after some morning showers turn to dry afternoon. Dry conditions as well for Saturday, then storms move in again on Sunday. Overall, after we exit this very high heat stretch of weather, upper 80s, low 90s today through Thursday. We're back into the 70s and low 80s by this coming weekend. Still very warm, but we're going to say goodbye to that very high heat.
Look at that, 77 on Friday. That just sounds refreshing, doesn't it?
Is it crazy? 77 seems cool, right?
Refreshing and cool. Thank you so much, Eric. And let's take a look at our social media handles. But first, we're going to wish everyone a happy birthday. Good morning once again, and thank you for joining us for another half hour of News Channel 2 at Sunrise. I'm Katrina Smith. Let's check in with meteorologist Eric Gage for a look at that forecast. Many of us dealing with that air quality alert today, Eric.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of us impacting the North Country, Southern Valleys, Mohawk Valleys. Take a look at the map here. It includes pretty much a good section here of central New York. Now, what is this air quality alert? Basically, we have some wildfire smoke coming in from the northwest. It's going to usher in AQIs over 100, which is a fancy description of saying that there is going to be some minor effects to air quality today from that wildfire smoke. It's not going to be that bad, but those of you who are sensitive to things like that in the atmosphere, you want to limit your time outdoors today. Temperatures across the area are in the 60s, sunshine mixing with some patchy fogs. A lot of fog out there, especially as you head down into Pennsylvania and New Jersey with all that rain falling. You can see right off the side of the screen here, a lot of fog there. Either way, this morning, it's mainly dry with the exception of an isolated downpour passing through central Otsego County. It's the only rain shower tracking in pretty much all of New York State, and it's right here in Otsego County. So it's only about a mile or so wide. Once it passes over it, the weather dries up for pretty much the entire day today. Sunshine in Utica, patchy fog trying to form over the Mohawk River, and today's high temperatures will be climbing into the upper 80s with that heat and with that haze. Now, over the next few days, humidity kicks in. It's still humid today, don't get me wrong, but it's really going to kick in tomorrow and on Thursday. We're going to track that, plus when this wildfire smoke ends, coming up in a few minutes. Katrina?
Eric, thank you so much. And don't forget, your Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away on News Channel 2 at sunrise. Well, new this morning.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Tuesday. Our photo of the day today takes us to a nice scene of a rainbow, but also a double rainbow taken in Richfield Springs. Shout out to those of you watching from Richfield Springs this morning. This photo taken by Wendy showcases a beautiful scene of the greenery and the double rainbow as the sun and the rain, the perfect angle sets up to expose the variety of colors. If you're ever wondering how a rainbow forms, well, it's all because there's a wide spectrum of light coming from the sun. The sun doesn't release just one color. It's a conglomerate of all those colors there. So when you get the right angle, you get the ability for these water droplets to spread out the spectrum so you can see all those colors. And they're all varied by wavelength too, and energy. The darker reds heading closer to the oranges are low energy, high energy head toward purple and blue. Either way, today we're expecting higher temperatures, but it's going to get more hot and humid tomorrow and Thursday. Details on that coming up as we head into the next few minutes. Katrina?
Thank you so much, Eric. This morning, firefighters are battling that have forced hundreds of evacuations. NBC's Steve Patterson is there with more details.
For Grand Canyon tourists, taking in that iconic, ever-breathtaking vista, the view now comes with an unwanted filter, towers of smoke.
What's it like to see it just covered in smoke?
It's very depressing.
Across Arizona's majestic canyon, firefighters struggling for control as the twin fires rage, forcing hundreds of evacuations.
We are all getting evacuated right now as fast as possible.
The destructive Dragon Bravo fire began on July 4th along the canyon's north rim. Days later, the massive White Sage fire started 35 miles north, at one point growing 20 times in size in 24 hours, both still burning out of control. The remote beauty of the North Rim devastated. Any progress at this point?
We still have 0% containment. We're in full suppression mode. We're throwing everything we got at it.
Park officials confirm 70 structures, including the homes of park employees, have been destroyed. At least 500 people forced to evacuate, leaving everything behind.
It has been a trying week for everyone. The loss is devastating.
A big part of that loss, the nearly century-old Grand Canyon Lodge. Only about 10% of the canyon tourists travel to the North Rim, now shut down for the rest of the season. While across the border, winds whipping up this fire-nado as firefighters take on the Deer Creek fire in Utah. Back here at the Grand Canyon,
you can barely see the photos. It just looks black.
The flames still staining that picture-perfect beauty. Steve Patterson, NBC News, Grand Canyon National Park.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Great shot of that morning fog from the tower cam. We actually can see what's underneath that fog trying to form here in downtown Utica. And to the left of the camera is where that, of course, the Mohawk River is, and it's trying its best to extend into the downtown area right now, but still it's looking mainly clear here in the downtown city portion of Utica itself. Either way, it's a quiet start this morning. Temperatures in the 60s, climbing eventually into the 70s and eventually the upper 80s by this afternoon. So doing a quick time lapse here, I want to focus on one isolated downpour in pretty much all of our area, just in central Otsego County. It's fizzling out now, but it's pretty interesting seeing that that was taking place in a very unique scenario here with just one single downpour. We're not expecting any rain for the rest of the day today. So for those of you who are, for example, doing any outdoor work today, mowing, doing anything in terms of road construction, you name it, you've got dry weather, but grab some extra waters. It's not going to be that hot and humid today, but it's still going to be very warm. And so make sure you find ways to stay hydrated. We're also tracking wildfire smoke. This is what set up the air quality alerts across our area today. And as the plume of smoke shifts south, it's going to impact us, I would say, not that highly. If we were in this zone here, it'd be a lot more concerning. But either way, expect some minor effects of the smoke today, meaning hazy skies and the potential for those of you to notice a slight smoky smell in the atmosphere. This is not a long duration event. You can see here that smoke shifts north tomorrow and we're in the clear. So this is mainly a today type scenario. But still, we're going to track that. We're going to keep a close eye on the air quality levels here locally. Besides the smoke, today it's sunny, dry, temperatures upper 80s. Tonight, it's quiet, lows in the 60s, a beautiful start to your day tomorrow, but this will set the stage for a very warm, very humid, and potentially stormy stretch of weather tomorrow and Thursday. What I mean by stormy is we see some of these sporadic thunderstorms. They're not organized, but they're hit or miss. So we have a mix of sun, clouds, and a passing thunderstorm tomorrow and Thursday with high heat, high humidity, both days in the upper 80s, potentially low 90s. Your 7-day forecast following a cold front that arrives late Thursday into early Friday. Lingering rain Friday turns to sunshine by the evening. A great end of the work week. You have any Friday evening plans? So far, it looks pretty pleasant in the low 70s with lower humidity, which sticks around for Saturday before that humidity kicks back in again. So you have a very small stretch of that lower humidity after this high heat. And
it is definitely hot, and that rain sticks to the morning on Friday, we hope.
Yes, and hopefully by the afternoon it'll dry up.
That is good news. Thank you so much, Eric.
Sticky out there, and that was the theme this Sunday.
Yeah.
I think Kristen and I said sticky and steamy about 300 times, but it's true, and it's not that much better today.
Yeah, and even with some of the rain we've seen the past few days, it hasn't gotten that humidity down so far. And again, same story today. Along with that too, we have some haze, some wildfire smoke. In fact, a look at the AQI, or the Air Quality Index. The higher the number, the worse the air quality is. And we're at roughly between 100 and 125. It's not very concerning. It's still elevated. It's mainly for those of you who have breathing concerns, if you are unusually sensitive to pollution in the atmosphere. It's a day like today, you want to limit your time outdoors. For any of you who do not have those conditions, this is not any concerning issue. If we were in the red or purple category like we were a couple of years ago in June of 2023, that's when all of the population wants to limit time outside. Still, air quality alerts in the counties in gray, and there are a lot of them. Notice, though, we head toward the capital region, not really any gray counties. It means that the smoke is coming from the northwest. It's going to sit over these areas here this afternoon and this evening. And then by tonight and tomorrow, it's going to shift its way back up north again. We're going to time it out coming up in a few minutes. But first, here's a look at that haze outside from our CapView tower camera. Still a very humid day out there as well. 82 degrees, 80s across much of central New York. Radar is dry in the next 12 hours, showcasing dry conditions, lots of sunshine. It's going to be even hotter tomorrow and on Thursday. We run the risk of a few showers and thunderstorms. We'll track those, plus again, the latest on that wildfire smoke in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. As flood recovery continues in central Texas, people in several other states are grappling with new rounds of severe weather. Some face extreme heat and wildfires, as Eric was mentioning, like the blaze that destroyed an iconic lodge in Arizona on the north rim of the Grand Canyon. Others recovering from flash floods and slow-moving thunderstorms today. Here's Amy Kiley with more.
Tens of millions of Americans are coping with severe weather or its aftermath today. Whoa. The Northeast is recovering from overnight floods. New Jersey is under a state of emergency declaration. New York is dealing with subway station flood damage that also affected some train cars. This man seems okay after a rescue in the suburbs, while these drivers chose to turn around in the Bronx. The FAA warns of air travel impacts in New York, Washington, and Boston. In southern Pennsylvania, officials report a number of water rescues. They say Lancaster County got 7 inches of rain in less than 5 hours yesterday. Meteorologists say Maryland and D.C. were in the core threat area overnight. Meanwhile, near the Grand Canyon,
it's just really devastating.
A historic lodge is in ashes due to a rapidly spreading wildfire.
It's taking a big chunk of the park and taking it offline for at least a couple of years.
In Utah, the Monroe fire is burning.
That's a big concern, protecting the structures as we can and keeping the public safe.
And in central Texas, recovery efforts continue after floods killed more than 100 people.
We have seen the best of humanity. We truly see God's hand at work.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Back here at home, the community is once again making sure 6-year-old twin sisters Emily and Kenny are forgotten, and at the same time supporting their mom. Tot Town Daycare and their families are hosting a fresh lemonade stand with lemons donated by Giuliano's Greenhouses. The Sweet Morning of Love, Remembrance, and Community is scheduled for this Friday, 10 to noon, at 132 Alyssa Circle in Utica. You can leave a chalk message to remember the girls. Proceeds go to their mom, Kaylee. The Defense POW MIA accounting.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. It's hazy, hot, and humid out there today, and although the haze can be attributed to humidity today, it's mainly driven by wildfire smoke from the northwest. We take a look outside in downtown Utica. You can see some of that haze out there today. Now, satellite feeds show us not a very intense, visible signature of this wildfire smoke, but the air quality sensors are picking up on it. We can see here, very humid, near tropical levels today, 67 dew point, 82 degrees and sunny out there early this afternoon. We look at the larger scale picture here. We have that northwest wind in our area today. So that's going to reduce the humidity a little bit, if you can call very humid, not humid. I know it's a bit of a tongue twister there, but either way, we head into the next few days. This northwest wind switches to a south wind. That'll add some more heat into the forecast, but also a better chance for sudden downpours. But today, it's mainly dry with that northwest flow here. Here's a look at that wildfire smoke across the area today. As we head into tonight, that smoke will still linger, but then by tomorrow, that south wind, although it ushers in higher heat and humidity, it will whisk away a lot of that smoke. So this is mainly a today problem, this haze in the atmosphere. Again, by tomorrow and Wednesday, or Thursday, I should say, things are looking a lot more quiet with air quality concerns. Still, though, it's going to be sunny and very warm for those of you heading out to any evening plans today, especially what the truck that takes place tonight. It's going to be very warm, very sunny, even in the low 80s by the time it hits 8 p.m. So here in our Skycast, again, dry conditions today. It's going to be a beautiful morning tomorrow. You head out to work in the 60s, lots of sunshine. This will be the driest it'll be between tomorrow morning through the end of Thursday. Yes, you could look out with missing a downpour, but notice these sporadic downpours. They are not really organized at all as they move through our area. Same thing for Thursday. Temperatures in the upper 80s, low 90s with those sporadic downpours here and there. And then as we head into Thursday night, we'll see that cold front sweep through. This will be a difference maker as we head into the end of the week. So we got these temperatures here. Look at this, 88 today, 91 tomorrow, 89 pushing 90 on Thursday. But watch Friday and Saturday. We're in the 70s. After those morning showers Friday, things dry out. It's going to be a beautiful evening Friday night, turning to a pretty nice Saturday with temperatures in the upper 70s. So we got 3 days of high heat and humidity, and yes, it'll still be somewhat humid Friday and Saturday. It's going to be a lot less noticeable compared to what we saw for the weekend, for the Boilermaker, and of course, what's happening today.
Last couple days, exactly. Yeah. Well, you know, look, it's July. That's the way it works.
July, yeah.
That's the way it works. So just keep an eye, especially with that air quality. Keep an eye on those that might be vulnerable, and especially on your elderly neighbors and even pets. So thanks a lot, Eric. Well, when kids get sent off to the school bus in the morning, parents did that. Hey,
my stomach is grumbling right now.
Unbelievable. Eric's back. Eric's going to talk about the forecast while both of our stomachs growl. Hot again out there today seems to be the theme, but also some air quality issues too.
Yeah, and for now, in fact, we take a look at the air quality index. We are at a level where it says unhealthy for some, and you notice in some of that text there, it's mainly for those who have heart-lung disease, if you're elderly, or if you have very young children, to limit time outside. This is not an urgent air quality concern like what we saw in June of 2023, which were in these categories. Today, it's noticeable, and some of you who are usually sensitive, you might notice it in the atmosphere today. In the counties in gray here, these are all under air quality alerts today. As you head toward the capital region, that smoke is a lot less intense as this is all coming from Canada from the northwest. We head into tomorrow, some of this is going to whisk its way to the north. So again, this is mainly a concern for today. And if you are in the counties in gray here, you are under that air quality alert. We can see some of the haze here from our vantage point here on Smith Hill and Deerfield. A live look at our Cavity Tower camera. It is hazy, it is hot, it is humid out there. Temperatures in the low 80s, but we're going to climb into the upper 80s over the next several hours. Now, by tonight, we're going to cool down into the 60s. It's going to be a pretty nice start tomorrow, but then we'll see the arrival of rain chances, even some thunderstorm chances as well. We'll track those, plus the end of this wildfire smoke coming up in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Eric, look forward to that. You might see more expensive tomatoes at the grocery store soon. The U.S. has pulled out of a 3-decade-old tomato.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today, it's still slowly warming up after a pretty comfortable morning, but we are tracking some heat, humidity, and of course that haze from that wildfire smoke. Downtown Utica, a live view outside at this hour. We can see here dry conditions, blue skies, well, sort of blue with that faint smoke in the distance there. Very humid category, feels like 84. Expect this feels like temperature to push near 90 this afternoon. Now, despite that, we have a little bit of a northwest wind at play here today. This is going to prevent a surge of very high tropical humidity. Still humid out there, not nearly as humid as what's going to be tomorrow and on Thursday, but it's still dry. Yes, there's some smoke, but in fact, we are tracking that smoke right now, and it's sitting over our area. The worst of it is staying to our north, thankfully, but we still have a little bit of it near the surface here. We head into tomorrow, and quickly this south wind will kick in and it will push away a lot of that smoke. So this air quality alert is driven for today. It ends at midnight tonight, and then the air quality will improve rapidly between tomorrow and again on Thursday. Still though, today, if you are not sensitive to particulates in the atmosphere, if you want to spend time outside, again, you don't have to limit your time unless it's absolutely necessary. We're in the 80s. Great outdoor weather, for example, the truck that takes place tonight and other outdoor events you might be planning, grilling, whatnot. You got great weather for it. It's dry for the entire evening and overnight. Temperatures this afternoon in the upper 80s by 5 p.m. Tonight, we're down into the 60s. By tomorrow, it's a beautiful morning, and then we head into the afternoon, that heat and humidity kick in. That south wind arrives, ushering in a few scattered thunderstorms, disorganized thunderstorms across the area. Same thing for Thursday. Throughout the day, very hot, very humid, highs near 90 or above, and a few scattered thunderstorms. We head into Thursday evening. This is when this pattern begins to flip a little bit. We'll see that front roll through Thursday night into Friday. This will bring in some clouds, maybe some light rain Friday morning, but we head into Friday afternoon. You can see this temperature difference here. 88, 91, 89, then 77 for Friday, 79 for Saturday. This front is going to whisk away a lot of that high humidity. It will still be humid out there, but noticeably less, especially over the past week, the past weekend, and even the past few days. But still, this is not atypical. We're in mid-July, the warmest time of the year here in central New York, but still, you want to make sure you stay hydrated, and especially for those that work outside, having extra water beneficial.
No doubt, absolutely. And you know, we got such a slow start because the spring was so long. So I think folks are just a little like, oh, what's happening?
Here it is.
This is actually normal. All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, this morning, residents in a South
Environmental Conservation has once again issued an air quality advisory for Oneida, Herkimer, and Otsego counties, and it's because of the smoke coming from the Canadian wildfires. In some places, people are dealing with the haze and heat and humidity. We are adding an air quality alert to the WKTV Storm Tracker 2 weather app, so be sure to download that to get notifications outside of news time. But for now, we have meteorologist James DeFazio to tell us about it.
Yes, and fortunately, moving forward, the app is now updated, so anytime we have an air quality issue, those alerts will come right through. So that is now been reconciled. But yes, we're tracking improving air quality, slowly improving air quality. But as we head into the day tomorrow, we are going to notice some big improvements in terms of air quality. And as you can see across downtown Utica right now, it's not all too hazy. The levels of air quality are not that bad. We have mostly sunny skies, very warm weather, upper 80s across the area. Extremely dry weather continues, and it's going to continue into the day tomorrow. This smoke continues to move northward overnight tonight and into the day on Wednesday as winds shift out of the south, or I should say as winds shift to out of the south. Lows tonight are going to be in the mid to upper 60s with mostly clear skies. It's not going to be an overwhelmingly stuffy night. However, tomorrow, very hot, very humid, highs all the way up in the low 90s. Coming up, we're going to break down some of the hazards with tomorrow's heat, as well as a further look at that smoke forecast. Kristen?
All right, James, thank you. More than 8 decades.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Tuesday evening. As you can see on the tower cam there on the far distant shot, you can get a good gauge for why we have an air quality alert in effect. When you look at downtown Utica, which is beneath some of that smog, it doesn't look like the air quality is quite as poor, and it's not extremely poor. It's just slightly unhealthy. But as you can see, downtown Utica, beautiful conditions, mostly sunny skies, very warm, dry weather, highs yet again into the upper 80s. This air quality alert continues through tonight, I should say through the evening, and expires at midnight tonight. And then fortunately, things look to improve. We'll show the smoke forecast coming up in a moment. We have a heat advisory in effect for tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. for very warm heat index values. And we're tracking the chance for scattered downpours and scattered thunderstorms during tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar is quiet as a mouse. Dry weather will continue tonight and continue into the first half of the day tomorrow. 87 degrees with mostly sunny skies up at Griffiths and Rome, and a light breeze at 8 miles per hour out of the west. Very humid conditions continue. Those feel-like temperatures continue to be 2 to 3 degrees higher than the actual temperature. Fortunately, the smoke begins to improve as we head towards tomorrow morning. We have a change in wind direction to out of the south. The smoke is going to continue to lift northward, and we're going to see noticeable differences or noticeable improvements as we head through the day on Wednesday. And by Thursday morning, we're back to completely healthy air quality. Again, this is just an unhealthy for some. It's not extremely hazardous. It's not going to be bothersome for all. But if you're particularly sensitive to pollutants, it could certainly be irritating for you. Your Clinton Tractor and Implement Mowcast tomorrow. Early in the day, we recommend getting the lawn cut as showers develop in the afternoon. Thursday looks rather wet for the entirety of the day. And Friday, we dry out during the afternoon and evening. Tonight, dry weather continues, slowly cools down after a very warm day, but lows tonight in the mid to upper 60s. Tomorrow, another warm start to the day and very warm temperatures. We climb all the way up into the low 90s. Heat index values tomorrow in the mid 90s, which is prompting that heat advisory. As we head into the evening hours, those scattered downpours and weak thunderstorms develop across the region. Those high humidity thunderstorms continue to fall through the evening and into the overnight. As we head into Thursday, showers and storms continue as a result of a cold front working through the region before drier weather settles in for the second half of Friday. A look at your 7-day forecast. A heat advisory is in effect for tomorrow. Air quality alert expires at midnight tonight. Highs tomorrow in the low 90s with mostly sunny skies. We're tracking those scattered downpours late tomorrow evening. Widespread showers and thunderstorms on Thursday. After a couple lingering showers Friday morning, we start the weekend with beautiful weather. Friday afternoon looking very, very nice. We finally get a little bit of a break in humidity Friday night into Saturday. And we start Saturday with sunny skies and upper 70s.
Awesome. All right, James, thank you. Parts of the Northcast with meteorologist James DeFazio.
Taking a look at tonight's Skycast, our featured dog is Tucker in Rome. I want to shout out my friend Rebecca, who brought Tucker home today. It's Tucker's first day. He's a black lab puppy, and he is just adorable, and I just love how pink his tongue is. It's a great night for a walk. The air quality isn't too hazardous. It's very warm out there, but a good night to get up and get out and enjoy that widespread sunshine with the dry weather in place. Again, dry weather in place on your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, and that continues into the first half of the day on Wednesday. As we head into the second half of Wednesday, we'll track some showers and storms. Temperatures right now, upper 80s to even low 90s. Whitesboro all the way up to 90 degrees now. We're still seeing some areas rising in temperature, which is why on the map there we're showing 88, 89 degrees over the next several hours. Griffiths up to 87 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Still very humid, a 66-degree dew point, making it feel like 89. Heat advisory is in effect for tomorrow, with highs expected to be in the low 90s. Coming up, we're going to take a more detailed look at tomorrow's forecast. Kristen?
James, thank you. If the heat outside is making your insides revolt against food, you're not alone. Experts say our appetite Mandy Gaither finds out why and what you should eat during a heat wave.
Keep going higher, your appetite may be getting smaller. And researchers say there's a reason for this. Science.
It actually has to do with the thermic effect of food. So we're not as hungry in the heat because our bodies don't want to get overheated.
Registered dietitian Julia Zumpano with Cleveland Clinic says digesting food and stockpiling its nutrients uses energy, which generates heat. If your body is already hot, it may not want any more heat.
Generally and naturally, our appetites just drop in the summer and in the hotter months.
Even if you're not as hungry, Zumpano says it's still important to have a balanced diet. She says to choose the most nutrient-dense foods possible, like fresh fruits and veggies, and make sure you're getting enough protein. You might opt for ones that aren't as heavy.
Proteins can come from meats or fish, but it can also come from things like eggs and beans and dairy sources like cottage cheese and Greek yogurt.
And finally, Zumpano says digestion can slow down when you're dehydrated, so make sure to drink plenty of water.
Even focusing on hydrating foods can be very helpful, like watermelon and lettuce and celery and cucumbers, cherries and citrus fruits and strawberries. So all of those foods can be very hydrating, in addition to, of course, increasing your fluid intake.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Every July 15th,
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Tuesday evening. Slightly hazy conditions off the tower cam there. We're dealing with slightly hazardous, slightly unhealthy levels of air quality. Fortunately, nothing too serious. Air quality index levels are in the 100 to 150 range, which isn't extremely high, but definitely noteworthy and noticeable. And if you are sensitive to pollutants, it could certainly be irritating. However, beneath the smog, mostly sunny, dry conditions in downtown Utica, a beautiful night, highs warm, yet again, temperatures in the upper 80s. We have an air quality alert for that wildfire smoke, and that remains in effect until midnight tonight. Fortunately, things begin to improve after that, and we're going to take a look at that coming up in a moment. Heat advisory goes into effect tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., and that's for heat index values tomorrow afternoon in excess of 95 degrees. And then we're tracking some scattered downpours and thunderstorms for tomorrow evening as a result of the high heat and humidity. Your Euroflow Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar is dry and quiet as a mouse. There are no showers on there as high pressure is in control, and it stays in control at least through the first half of tomorrow. 87 degrees with mostly sunny skies, just a light breeze at 8 miles per hour out of the west. Still very humid conditions, and we're not going to shake the humidity for just a couple more days, unfortunately. The smoke, though, begins to dissipate overnight tonight. The wind direction changes to out of the south, and the smoke begins to retreat towards the north. As we head through the day, tomorrow we're going to see noticeable improvements, and by Thursday we're back to perfectly good air quality conditions. For now, we're in the unhealthy for some category. Again, if you're particularly sensitive, you will notice some irritation out there tonight. But again, fortunately, things are beginning to improve. Tomorrow, showers later in the day. Could get the lawn cut early. Friday, showers early in the day. You get the lawn cut later in the day. Thursday looking rather wet, unfortunately. Clear conditions tonight. Lows in the mid to upper 60s. Clear conditions to begin the day tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. We warm up very quickly through the upper 70s, through the upper 80s, into the low 90s. As we head into the evening hours, here comes those scattered thunderstorms and downpours. A couple very isolated thunderstorms and downpours roll through the region Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. As we head into Thursday, unsettled weather continues. A frontal boundary works across the region Thursday afternoon, and we see another widespread round of showers and thunderstorms before pleasant weather settles in for Friday. A look at the 7-day forecast. Very, very hot conditions tomorrow. Heat advisory goes into effect at 11 a.m. Highs in the low 90s. Heat index values in the mid 90s. Showers and storms Wednesday night into Thursday afternoon. Partly sunny skies on Friday with highs in the upper 70s. Pleasant weather continues into the weekend, mostly sunny upper 70s. A shower possible Sunday afternoon, although not looking like a wet weekend at all. And back to partly sunny skies by Monday, highs near 80.
Forecast with meteorologist James DeFazio.
Another warm, sunny day and humid day across central New York. We are dealing with some slightly unhealthy levels of air quality, but you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at downtown Utica. Mostly sunny skies, dry conditions, very warm weather. It's beautiful out right now. 86 degrees with sunny skies, a light breeze. It is still humid. We're not going to shake the humidity for a few more days. We're going to continue to see these humid conditions. Dry conditions continue on your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, and that's going to continue through the night tonight and through the first half of the day tomorrow. Taking a look at the air quality due to the Canadian wildfire smoke. Fortunately, the wind direction changes overnight tonight and air quality begins to improve. The smoke begins to lift northward once we get the wind out of the south. Lows tonight going to be right around 67 degrees with mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, a very hot and humid day. Heat advisories are in effect. Highs going to be in the low 90s. Coming up, we'll take a more detailed look at tomorrow's forecast. Kristen?
James, thank you. 1 year ago tomorrow, a devastating EF2 tornado struck the city of Rome, and recovery continues today. Buildings were destroyed and then demolished. A church steeple came crashing to the ground. Walls were blown out, roofs peeled back, and the B-52 memorial knocked from its platform. Remarkably, no one died. Tomorrow, we will have special coverage to mark the anniversary, and Connected Community Schools will host a block party to celebrate recovery. That's 2 to 6 on North James Street. Congressman John Mannion's Utica District Office.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Tuesday evening. As you can see on the tower cam there, we're tracking hazy skies this evening. We're under an air quality alert that doesn't expire until 3 a.m. Wednesday morning. However, we are tracking improving conditions. We're going to see improving air quality as we head into the day on Wednesday as the wind direction shifts. We'll show that on the smoke model coming up in a minute. Beautiful weather in downtown Utica, blue skies galore, mostly sunny, highs in the upper 80s. Another very warm, humid night across central New York. This air quality alert was just extended from midnight until 3 a.m. It's going to link, so the smoke is going to linger a little bit longer, but it does improve before tomorrow morning. Heat advisory in effect for tomorrow from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. And then we're tracking the chance for scattered downpours and thunderstorms to develop tomorrow evening. And that's a result of the really high humid environment. Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, dry and quiet as high pressure is in control, and it's going to stay dry through the night tonight into the morning tomorrow. 86 degrees with sunny skies up in Rome, a 67-degree dew point continuing to make for very humid conditions. The feel-like temperature continuing to be 2 to 4 degrees above the actual temperature due to these high levels of humidity. The smoke continues to affect our air quality through the night tonight. However, as we approach tomorrow morning, that south wind really begins to move the smoke to the north, and we see improved air quality conditions. And by Thursday, air quality conditions go from unhealthy for some, where we're at right now, all the way over to completely to good. Unfortunately, we're not seeing incredibly hazardous air quality levels right now, but if you're sensitive to irritants or pollutants, you could be irritated by the level of smoke that's currently in the atmosphere. Your Clinton Tractor and Implement Mowcast tomorrow morning would be an opportunity to get the lawn cut. Showers develop in the afternoon. Friday, we're expecting conditions to dry out during the afternoon and evening. Also a good opportunity to get the lawn cut. Clear skies continue tonight. Lows are going to be in the mid to upper 60s. Clear skies to begin the day tomorrow, and we warm up very quickly. Highs tomorrow in the low 90s with feel-like temperatures in the mid-90s. Showers develop during the afternoon and evening. A couple of downpours and scattered thunderstorms develop for Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. Another round of showers and storms develops through the day on Thursday as a front works through. Widespread showers and storms continue through the day on Thursday. A look at the 7-day forecast. After those storms clear the region Thursday, beautiful weather settles in on Friday. Partly sunny skies, upper 70s. A beautiful start to the weekend with finally a little bit of a reprieve from the humidity. Highs in the upper 70s. A couple of thunderstorms possible on Sunday, but a weekend forecast that I'll take at this point.
Right. All right, James, thank you. The State Commissioner for Veterans Services is
James DeFazio.
Good Tuesday evening. We're tracking slowly improving air quality. Nevertheless, air quality alerts remain in effect for central New York until 3 a.m. And then things really begin to improve. We're going to see the wind direction change and noticeable improvements by tomorrow morning. Dry weather continues on your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 radar. It's going to stay dry overnight tonight and into the first half of the day tomorrow. Again, winds shift to out of the south overnight tonight, and the smoke lifts northward. Noticeable improvements by tomorrow morning. Nearly perfect air quality returns by Thursday. Tonight, lows in the mid to upper 60s, approximately 67 degrees with primarily clear skies. Tomorrow, a very, very hot day. Highs in the low 90s. Heat advisory is in effect. Coming up, we're going to take a further look at tomorrow's forecast.
James, thanks so much. One year ago tomorrow, a devastating EF2 tornado struck the city of Rome, and the recovery continues to this day. Buildings were destroyed and then demolished. A church steeple came crashing to the ground. Walls were blown out, roofs peeled back, and the B-52 memorial knocked from its platform. No one died. Remarkable. Tomorrow, we will have special coverage to mark the anniversary, and Connected Community Schools will host a block party. It's 2 to 6 on North James Street. And news tonight, the application period has closed. Clark Mills. Oneida County is currently processing more than 550 applications from the town of Clark Mills, the town of Kirkland, and affected areas from the Storm Relief Fund, a partnership with the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties that offered up to $5,000 assistance for things like insurance deductibles, tree removal, and dumpster rentals. The hotline that was set up by the county for residents has also been closed. And the community is once again making sure that the six-year-old twin sisters who were killed in last month's tornado are not forgotten, and at the same time supporting their mom. Tot Town Daycare and their families are hosting a fresh lemonade stand with lemons donated by Giuliano's Greenhouses coming up this Friday from 10 to noon. Tot Town is on Alyssa Circle in Utica. Emily and Kenny Bison were killed when a tree came down on their Clark Mills home on June 22nd. Proceeds of the lemonade stand go to their mom, Kaylee. And Gilbert Lake State Park has shut down swimming.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Tuesday evening. It was another warm, sunny day across central New York, and our only hazard today that we're keeping an eye on was air quality. We're seeing Canadian wildfire smoke affecting our air quality, and we have air quality alerts in effect until 3 a.m. Fortunately, things improve overnight. The wind direction changes. We're going to take a look at that coming up in just a moment. This air quality alert was just extended from midnight until 3 a.m. They're expecting the smoke to linger a little bit longer than originally anticipated, but we will see great improvements by tomorrow morning. Heat advisory goes into effect tomorrow at 11 a.m. It's in effect until 8 p.m., and that is for the chance for heat index values that are going to climb all the way up into the mid-90s. And then we're tracking the chance for a few scattered downpours as well as some weak thunderstorms tomorrow evening in that high humidity environment. Dry weather on your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. High pressure is in control of the weather and will continue to be through the night tonight and into the first half of the day tomorrow. This wildfire smoke begins to lift northward. We get a change in wind direction. The winds come out of the south and push this smoke back towards Canada, and we're going to see vast improvements in our air quality throughout the day on Wednesday, and by Thursday morning, we're back to good or perfect air quality. As for now, unhealthy for some is the level of air quality we're at. Could irritate you if you're especially sensitive to pollutants and certain irritants. Not unhealthy for everyone, but it is noticeable out there as well. There is a haze in the distance, especially off of the longer cams and the tower cams. Taking a look at the chance for rain for tomorrow, near zero for the majority of the day, but as we head into the evening hours, the chance for a couple of downpours develops from 7 to 11 p.m. We see that the 30 to 50% chance of a downpour develop due to that high humidity environment. Your Clinton Tractor and Implement Mowcast. Most of the day tomorrow is going to be dry, giving you an opportunity to get the lawn cut. Thursday looking very wet. Friday looking like an entirely dry day, a good opportunity as well. Clear skies tonight. Lows are going to be in the mid to upper 60s. Mostly mostly sunny skies to begin the day tomorrow, and we steadily warm up right up through the upper 70s, through the upper 80s. By the middle of the day tomorrow, we're into the low 90s. As we head into the evening hours, again, here are those scattered downpours that work through the region. On Thursday, a cold front passes across the region. We all see some widespread showers and storms during the day on Thursday, before calmer weather arrives for Friday. A look at your 7-day forecast. After that round of showers and storms, very pleasant weather settles in for Friday and Saturday. Upper 70s both days with partly to mostly sunny skies. A couple storms possible Sunday afternoon, but all in all, tracking a very pleasant weekend. Good Tuesday evening. We're tracking slowly improving air quality. Nevertheless, air quality alerts remain in effect for central New York until 3 a.m. and then things really begin to improve. We're going to see the wind direction change and noticeable improvements by tomorrow morning. Dry weather continues on your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 radar. It's going to stay dry overnight tonight and into the first half of the day tomorrow. Again, winds shift to out of the south overnight tonight, and the smoke lifts northward. Noticeable improvements by tomorrow morning. Nearly perfect air quality returns by Thursday. Tonight, lows in the mid to upper 60s, approximately 67 degrees with primarily clear skies. Tomorrow, a very, very hot day. Highs in the low 90s. Heat advisory is in effect. Coming up, we're going to take a further look at tomorrow's forecast.
1 year ago tomorrow, a devastating EF2 tornado struck the city of Rome. Recovery efforts continue to this day. Buildings were destroyed and then demolished. A church steeple came crashing to the ground. Walls were blown out, roofs peeled back, and the B-52 Memorial bomber knocked from its platform. It's remarkable that no one died, and tomorrow we will have special coverage to mark the anniversary. Connected Community Schools will also be hosting a block party on North James Street. It starts at 2 o'clock and goes until 6. New tonight, the application period has closed for a relief fund to help victims of the June 22nd tornadoes and storms. Oneida County is currently processing more than 550 applications from Clark Mills, the town of Kirkland, and other local areas affected by storms. The relief fund was a part of a partnership with the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties that offered $5,000, up to $5,000, in assistance for things like insurance deductibles, tree removal, and dumpster rentals. The hotline that the county set up for residents affected is also now closed. And the Gilbert Lake State Park has shut down.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Tuesday evening. It was another warm, sunny day across central New York, and our only hazard today that we're keeping an eye on was air quality. We're seeing Canadian wildfire smoke affecting our air quality, and we have air quality alerts in effect until 3 a.m. Fortunately, things improve overnight. The wind direction changes. We're going to take a look at that coming up in just a moment. This air quality alert was just extended from midnight until 3 a.m. They're expecting the smoke to linger a little bit longer than originally anticipated, but we will see great improvements by tomorrow morning. Heat advisory goes into effect tomorrow at 11 a.m. It's in effect until 8 p.m., and that is for the chance for heat index values that are going to climb all the way up into the mid-90s. And then we're tracking the chance for a few scattered downpours as well as some weak thunderstorms tomorrow evening in that high humidity environment. Dry weather on your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. High pressure is in control of the weather and will continue to be through the night tonight and into the first half of the day tomorrow. This wildfire smoke begins to lift northward. We get a change in wind direction. The winds come out of the south and push this smoke back towards Canada, and we're going to see vast improvements in our air quality throughout the day on Wednesday, and by Thursday morning, we're back to good or perfect air quality. As for now, unhealthy for some is the level of air quality we're at. Could irritate you if you're especially sensitive to pollutants and certain irritants. Not unhealthy for everyone, but it is noticeable out there as well. There is a haze in the distance, especially off of the longer cams and the tower cams. Taking a look at the chance for rain for tomorrow, near zero for the majority of the day, but as we head into the evening hours, the chance for a couple of downpours develops from 7 to 11 p.m. We see that the 30 to 50% chance of a downpour develop due to that high humidity environment. Your Clinton Tractor and Implement Mowcast. Most of the day tomorrow is going to be dry, giving you an opportunity to get the lawn cut. Thursday looking very wet. Friday looking like an entirely dry day, a good opportunity as well. Clear skies tonight. Lows are going to be in the mid to upper 60s. Mostly mostly sunny skies to begin the day tomorrow, and we steadily warm up right up through the upper 70s, through the upper 80s. By the middle of the day tomorrow, we're into the low 90s. As we head into the evening hours, again, here are those scattered downpours that work through the region. On Thursday, a cold front passes across the region. We all see some widespread showers and storms during the day on Thursday, before calmer weather arrives for Friday. A look at your 7-day forecast. After that round of showers and storms, very pleasant weather settles in for Friday and Saturday. Upper 70s both days with partly to mostly sunny skies. A couple storms possible Sunday afternoon, but all in all, tracking a very pleasant weekend.